when there's absolute clarity, when it's absolutely seen that all these thoughts and all this labeling, all that stuff that's been going on is a complete fabrication. When that is seen, the only thing that is left then is the being. Now, what's this? But it will be approached with a wonderful sense of curiosity and awe. But for that to occur, that curiosity and awness to occur, that can only occur when one has absolutely seen the fabrication of mind and what happens there and storytelling, and it's not you, and it becomes a complete disinterest in it. And there's also the complete, what is also understood too, is that this being is not the me. How could it possibly be? Like there's an absolute knowing of that. How could it, that's absurd. How could it, And then the attention then immediately shifts from being stuck on the mind our whole life and just listening to the story and being in the story, trying to work all this out in the story. The attention just shifts, naturally so, to what's this? Now, relax. Relax. Just relax. Relax. This is just, at this point, about observing. Now relax. The bad news is you can't make this happen. There's absolutely nothing you can do to facilitate this. The good news is you can't fuck it up either. How could you? If you can't make anything, you can't fuck it up either. So relax. Just observe what's happening. No matter what it is that's happening. And see that everything, and I'm talking about the internal world where you believe you're living, is just arising. There's an idea of a me that also arises in that internal story. Just come to see that. Relax. Really.
I missed the last session. I had booked it, put it on my calendar, somehow forgot.
Shit happens.
Shit happens, yes, except that the same thing happened for a previous session. And I'm getting kind of old and forgetful, but I just wonder whether that's just some kind of coincidence or whether there's a manifestation of some resistance going on here. I just wanted if you have any ideas about that.
You might not like it.
I might not. Go ahead.
Don't read anything into it.
Okay, that's fine.
Seriously. You know, that just happened. And then notice the story that develops after it. Leave the story. whatever the mind is saying, George, I don't care. Whatever it's saying is not true.
Okay, I got it. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah. So it's at some point, you, not just you, but everybody has got to stop personalizing the story. It's got nothing to do with you. And I know that can be difficult because our story has been intimate to us. Our own little personal story has been intimate to us our whole life. The story makes up who I am. It can be hard to not take it personally. But if you can start to see literally that story just happens. There's no you there as a doer. There's no you there as the thinker. There's not even a you there that's contemplating thoughts that are happening. It's all just happening. Even the thought, I'm going to contemplate today. That too comes from the story. All of it. It's not like, we can get to a point where it's almost like we go, yep, 95% of what goes on in there is not true. But there's that 5% that seems to be true. And that 5% will make up this tiny little nugget of me. That 5% is going to be the me that's still hanging on, that's still seeking, that believes it's still inquiring, that believes it turns up here today and asks questions. And that's the 5% we want to see. I mean, there's the seeing of that thoughts just happen. Yeah, that's got to come first.
Yeah, I still think I'm the thinker. And of course, that statement itself, that I think that I'm the thinker, is repetitiously redundant, as they say.
It is, yeah.
Mm.
All the noise, Deb, it's like, you've heard me say it before, it's like the 3-year-old child that loses the ice cream off the cone, hits the ground. Now, a 3-year-old or a 2-year-old, you'd expect them to go, right? Hoping that somehow the screaming is going to make the ice cream bounce back up off the ground and onto the cone clean. If I complain enough, if I really complain enough, somehow what just happened will get reversed. You'd expect that from a 2 or 3-year-old. Yeah. But adults are doing that all day long.
Yeah.
All day long.
Not get that.
Yeah. And then what arises from that is seeming suffering. It's only seeming. It's imagined. There's no suffering going on. Yeah. There's really not. I used to say this, but I haven't said it for a long time, but probably because it's not, well, it's dualistic, but anyway. So, 1 or 2 choices. Yeah. Accept or suffer. Your call.
That's not a choice. There's no choice even in that, though, is there?
But look, there's logic in it, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's the non-acceptance of what is.
Yeah, that creates the suffering.
It creates the suffering. And the suffering doesn't change the what is. It
Mhm.
doesn't change it.
Mm.
Why? It doesn't change it, Deb. Not one speck. Just like the ice cream doesn't jump back up off the ground and land on the child's ice cream cone.
Yeah.
Doesn't change it. It's just what is.
Mm. As simple as that.
Yeah. But see, the me takes a position.
Mm.
The me takes a position.
Mm.
Mm. It's like it sounds bizarre, but it's like it takes a position. Oh. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous. I don't even know if I can say it. It takes a position after just this. After just this. And then bitches and moans and complains about something that already is.
Mm.
Well, for me, when you said drop the me and the I just went to a really deep place where there was nobody there.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
And it just made so much, not that I'm going to stay there, but it just made so much sense. Just as soon as you said drop the me and the I, everything here stopped. And it was like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're just controlled by that. And when that's gone, it just, I don't know, it catapulted me into another world, I could say.
Yeah. That's because the word I and the word me has a huge body of other words connected to it. Your whole story, your whole life.
Right. I noticed whenever I wanted, like when you said that, and I was sitting here and I wanted to think something, right away it got cut because there's no me or no I. You can't even form a sentence.
No.
Nothing.
The usual experience when if it happens, yeah, if the I and the me is just taken out of the equation altogether, is silence. Even just for a moment, there'll be an experience of just stillness for a moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt like
then the mind might start to engage again and start saying, "Oh, what's happening here?" But yeah.
Yeah, there was just for a split second, it was like as if someone was doing this to my mouth and even to the inside, like just nowhere to go, like just I can't explain it. But then then the mind comes in and wanted to speak, and then I found myself, I guess it was the mind talking again, saying there's no me, there's no I. And then I would go back to something, and then the mind would come again, and oh, there's no me, there's no I. So the mind was coming into that too. But there was a split second where it was just like, oh, and it felt so natural too. It didn't feel like I'm creating something. It just felt like, oh, that's the way it is. I don't know. It just felt like that's the way it is. But then the mind kept coming in. Yeah.
This beingness is always here. It's never not been here. It's never not been here. It's not like it presents new. It's never not been here. Just this stops making up stories about it. And then it's just, that's when the dream is over. No dreaming about this, or just, then there's just clarity and silence. And that you can't talk about. Not because you don't want to, you simply can't. Not one word you could say. Because the word's a label, remember? The word's not the thing. The word's not. And if you gave it a word or a name or a tag or whatever, yeah, sure as shit, a little me out here will go, oh, okay, cool. And that'll get tucked away and slotted away in that little conceptual pigeonhole. And the me will go, yeah, got that. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I've got that bit. Okay, good. Now, what else do I need to get? And that is never ending. That process is never ending. And that's not the route you want to be going down. Come to see what you're not. Come to see what you're not. Come to see what you're not. The only thing, this is the only thing, and it's not a thing, but the only thing that can come to see what you're not is what you are. Because what you're not, sure as shit can't see what you are. What you're not can't see what you are. What you're not is this dream character trying to wake up, wants to experience what it's like to wake up. Dream character in the sleeping dream might as well be running to this satsang and that satsang and reading this book and that book and sitting with this teacher and that teacher and that. Yeah. Why? The dream character in the sleeping dream wants to experience what it's like to wake up in the morning. Yeah. You can't. As soon as waking occurs, dream character disappears. It's got to try and get you to see this is a dream. Wake up. It's just a bad dream. Wake up.